In this video, we will study singular Sturm-Liouville problems. So, we consider a Sturm-Liouville problem. L of y equal to minus p where p, q, r, they are function of x with the boundary conditions. So alpha 1 bound, let us take domain on 0 to 1. So with boundary conditions alpha 1 y at 0 and plus beta 1 y dash at 0 is 0. Second boundary condition at 1. So you have mixed boundary conditions. You can take any domain A to B, but for simplicity I have taken from 0 to 1 with boundary conditions. So let us write this domain for equation. Okay, so precisely, so this will come here with boundary conditions. So singular problems. So earlier we have studied regular and periodic SL problem. So now these are singular SL problems. So singular SL problems refers to a certain class of boundary value problem in which so you have some singularity, so in which the functions p, q, r, they satisfy the boundary conditions either on open interval but so let us write precisely. So they satisfy the boundary condition either on one end but may fail to satisfy the boundary conditions at other end. So in this problem maybe first condition is satisfied and second is not, or maybe first is not satisfied but second condition is satisfied. So this equation is true in open interval at one end also. This problem occurs in the interval which is unbounded. So one end is free, so that is you have domain 0 to let us say infinity or some a to infinity. So right hand is approaching to infinity. It may happen at left hand point. So what are singular problems? So they in these problems, either the coefficients, they may have singularity, or your equation satisfy one condition but another is not satisfied, or you may have these unbounded domains. So for example, let us take Bessel equations, the famous Bessel's equation, and you can write in this equation into SL form, plus n square by x y equal to lambda xy. So with p is x here, this coefficient of y, this one, and q coefficient of y, which is n square by x, and n is a fixed number. So and r right hand side, lambda rxy, so that is rx is x. Clearly you can check that there is no problem in p and r, but here q is, so therefore q is unbounded at x equal to 0. So if you take domain 0 1, then q is unbounded at x equal to 0. So n square by x, which is not defined. So there are two main questions that are of concern. So first one is that precisely what type of boundary conditions can be allowed in singular problems. So singular Sturm-Liouville problem, and second one is that likewise regular problem, you find real eigenvalue and corresponding eigenvectors were orthogonal, and then you had Fourier expansion. So can we write that expansion here? So to what extent eigenvalues are real or eigenfunctions, they are orthogonal. Eigenfunctions are orthogonal. To what extent? And can a given function be expanded as eigenfunction, as can be expanded in terms of orthogonal eigenfunctions. So, and answer of both questions, as we did in regular problem, you apply the Lagrange identity. So answer of both of these questions can be answered by a study of Lagrange identity, by keeping in mind that you have a singularity. So by study of Lagrange identity. So we had Lagrange identity. So I am writing from 0 to 1 for simplicity just. So take a equal to 0 and b equal to 1. So you have Lagrange identity L acting on u v minus u L v. Okay, so dx, that is equal to 0. So assume that that x equal to 0 is a singular point. Okay, so you have singularity at one end, but x equal to 1 is regular. So we consider, so you had singularity at left end. Okay, so you may have singularity at any end, so that doesn't matter. So we just have singularity at 0. So what we do, so we have this domain 0 to 1. So you have a problem at left hand, so we take a nearby point epsilon. Okay, then you study the problem in interval epsilon to 1, and after that we will take limit epsilon goes to 0. Okay, so we consider the identity from epsilon to 1, Lagrange identity. So LU V minus UL V. Okay, so you apply the Lagrange identity, then you simplify the things. So okay, so we study the Lagrange identity. Sorry, 0 is not here, so don't write. This is just Lagrange identity. If you simplify this identity, so I'll simplify it on next page. So this will give you minus of px, then u dash x vx minus ux v dash x. Okay, so and from epsilon to 1, so you need to fit boundary condition. So the boundary term at x equal to 1 is eliminated, is again eliminated. Okay, so you don't have problem at 1, so you can eliminate if both, using boundary condition you can eliminate if both u and v satisfy the boundary conditions. Okay, so therefore, so Lagrange identity epsilon to 1 LUV minus VLU. Sorry, I have written LVU minus ULV is equal to, so apply, so when you fit 1, so boundary term will cancel, but at epsilon these won't cancel. So P epsilon U dash epsilon V epsilon minus U epsilon V dash epsilon. Okay, so now take limit epsilon goes to 0. Take limit epsilon goes to 0. So this is the condition. So you need to satisfy boundary condition in a manner. So this is equal to this. So at the end you take limit epsilon goes to 0. So therefore, thus this equation, so this equation is therefore, this equation is therefore the criteria that determine what boundary conditions are allowable at x equal to a. and sorry x equal to 0, which is singular point. So we choose boundary condition in that manner, so maybe choose in that manner, so this will be 0. So in that case you have to take care of singularity, and we choose the boundary condition by keeping in this equation star. So this is the one case when you have a singularity, you have to be more precise to write boundary condition to tackle the singularity. And second case is when you have, what happens if your domain is unbounded. So what happens if we have domain 0 to infinity? So in that case, so the famous, the limit point or limit circle theorem, that is given by Weyl and Titchmarsh. So this is a famous result if you have unbounded domain. So we consider singular problem. So we consider SL problem. I am writing U here. So don't be consistent with notation. You can write Y or U. So LU equal to minus U double prime plus Q XU equal to lambda U, and X belongs to 0 to infinity. Okay, so here for simplicity P is 1, R is also 1, and let phi and psi be two solutions of this problem LU equal to lambda U, which satisfy the boundary conditions. So phi 0 in a parameter lambda is sine alpha, phi dash 0 lambda is minus cos alpha, and psi 0 lambda is cos alpha, and psi prime 0 lambda is sine alpha. Okay, so which satisfy the conditions. So here one boundary is fixed, so conditions are at 0, and you cannot specify conditions at infinity. That end is free. So for some alpha 0 to pi, then there is a function denoted by m lambda, so that for every lambda is any, lambda can be any complex number, so for every lambda in C you have y equal to x lambda, which is a combination of phi and psi, so m times psi. So this y is a square integrable, means it belongs to L2 class, so it is a square integrable. So y is a square integrable function which is a solution of LU equal to lambda U. Okay, so this Y is a solution, and M is called, so here this ends the statement, so this is a solution. So M is called Wheel Tishmarsh function. Okay, so this is limit point, limit circle theorem. So you can end statement here. So this is the end of statement of theorem. So now we have a look or a rough sketch of proof. So you have a problem, SL problem with the unbounded domain. So and we have specified the, you can say, boundary condition at one end given by these two relations. So these boundary conditions given in on previous page, these boundary conditions are equivalent to the conditions. So just multiply something and add. So cos alpha phi 0 lambda plus sin alpha, these are condition in phi equal to 0, and another condition in psi. So psi 0 lambda minus cos alpha psi dash 0 lambda equal to 0. So those conditions are equivalent to these conditions. So the combination denoted by y, so y x lambda equal to phi x lambda plus Tishmarsh function m lambda, then psi x lambda. This solves the problem LU equal to lambda U. So our aim is to find this Wheel Tishmarsh function m lambda in the, so we construct this function while proving this theorem. Okay, so set down the boundary conditions, set down the boundary conditions. So we are setting at one end at B, so sin beta U dash B equal to 0, where beta running from 0 to pi. On the so you specify a dummy boundary condition at right boundary B. Okay, so now substitute the expression, the expression for y into boundary conditions which determine m lambda. Okay, so solve those equations for m. So m lambda is minus cos beta phi b lambda plus sin beta phi dash and division with cos beta psi b lambda plus sin beta psi dash b lambda. Okay, so just divide sin beta on numerator and denominator, so you got minus cot beta. Just take sin beta common, so plus phi dash, and then this is again cot beta psi b lambda plus psi dash b comma lambda. Okay, so fix lambda and b and set z equal to cot of beta in the above expression, in this expression. Okay, and then we write m in the term of variable z, and z can be a complex number. So you have m, or you can write simply m equal to minus az plus b upon cz plus d. Okay, so I have written a, b, c, d, 4 coefficients. So it is a fractional linear transformation. Okay, so you are dividing two linear transformations. So it is a fractional linear transformation of z plane into itself. So from the well-known property, from the well-known properties of these linear transformations, as beta varies over real values, so given y from 0 to pi, so z varies over the real z axis, and therefore m describes a circle. It describes a circle in the z plane. So it can be shown that, so we can show that in detailed proof, if b increases, the circle become nested. Hence, there is at least one point inside all. For such a point, so circle will be nested like this. So at last you got one point. Okay, so for such a point, okay, so it depends on b. So as b increases, so circle become nested. For such a point, there exists at least one solution of Lu equal to lambda u, which is square integrable. So if the limit of the circle is a point, then Tishmarsh function m lambda is unique, and only then m lambda is unique and only y is square integrable. and why solve this equation LU equal to lambda U. This is called limit point case, and if the limit of the circle is itself a circle, then that circle, so then the Weyl-Tishmarsh function m lambda is not unique, and all solutions of Ly equal to lambda y are square integrable, and this is the limit circle case. So for these types of problem, you can determine this function m lambda to find solution, and then you need to specify right boundary which was denoted by B, and then two cases arises. One is limit point is circle, and another one is limit point is itself a circle. So in one case m is unique, and in other case, so as we have discussed here, so m is unique, and in another case this m is not unique. So by applying the Weyl-Tishmarsh theorem, you can write the solution if you have unbounded domain by finding that Weyl-Tishmarsh function m. Thank you.